1,060 cases. Complaints have risen in recent years from 80 in 2021 to 132 in 2024, reflecting either growing awareness or increasing disputes in the health sector. Yet, even as cases increase, some families report waiting years for decisions that the law requires to be delivered within 60 days of a hearing's conclusion. For grieving families seeking answers and for doctors fighting to protect their professional reputations, these allegations strike at the heart of justice itself. If a regulator entrusted with safeguarding patients is compromised, the consequences extend far beyond individual cases. They undermine confidence in the entire healthcare system. Tonight, we examine the claims, the statistics, and the urgent questions now confronting Kenya's medical oversight body. This is when the referee is compromised. Tonight, our regulator created to protect patients and enforce medical standards in Kenya itself is under scrutiny. The Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council, the body mandated to investigate negligence when patients die or are maimed, is facing explosive allegations of bribery and manipulation of disciplinary cases. An investigation published in today's Daily Nation raises troubling questions. Are doctors paying to escape punishment? Are grieving families being denied justice? And as the system meant to protect patients being compromised from within? We break down the allegations, the statistics, and what this means for the country's healthcare system. And we're looking at the mandate where the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council, KMPDC, is the statutory body tasked with regulating doctors and dentists across the country. Its responsibilities are clear: register and license practitioners, inspect and accredit medical facilities, investigate complaints of professional misconduct, discipline practitioners found guilty of negligence when a patient dies under suspicious circumstances, when surgery goes wrong, and when medical standards are breached. It is the council that must step in, and according to figures cited in today's Daily Nation investigations, Kenya has around 17,749 registered practitioners. Of those, 11,751 are active, and since 1997, the council has handled 1,239 complaints. About 1,060 cases have been concluded. Complaints rose from 80 in 2021 to 132 in 2024. And on paper, the system appears active, but the investigation suggests something deeply troubling beneath the surface. And we are looking at part 2 of the same, and the recording at the center of the scandal is an 11-minute audio recording. The recording, nearly 3 years old, allegedly captures a senior council official demanding bribes from a doctor who had already been found guilty of negligence. The original disciplinary recommendation and 1-year suspension were 1 million shillings fine, but according to the expose, negotiations followed. The suspension was removed. The fine was reduced to 500,000. The recording allegedly captures instructions on how money would be paid and how part of it would be retained. The audio was reportedly presented to senior leadership at the council, yet no public action was taken. No prosecution announced, no suspension confirmed. The official remains in office. And we're looking at part 3 of the same, where it's all about open air market justice, and doctors in the field describe the disciplinary process in chilling terms. An open air market, one doctor claims he was told that for more than 1 million he could secure a lighter outcome in his case. Another described paying both the official fine and additional official payments, only to later realize it changed into nothing. If these allegations are true, the implications are staggering. Discipline becomes negotiable, accountability becomes transactional, justice becomes conditional on ability to pay. This is not merely an administrative failure, it is a crisis of institutional integrity. Then part 4 of the same, it's about the human cost, and behind every statistics is a family. One case highlighted involves a woman who entered hospital with a normal pregnancy and later died from complications. Her husband reportedly learned of her death 14 hours later. He filed a complaint with the council. The law requires that rulings be delivered within 60 days after hearings conclude. Yet, in this case, more than 2 years later, there was still no final resolution. In another matter, High Court order compelling action was compiled with only after 4 years. For grieving families, delays compound trauma. Justice delayed becomes justice denied. Then part 5 is all about the rising complaints, and the numbers tell another story. Complaints are rising from 80 in 2021 to 132 in 2024. That increase could mean greater public awareness or growing medical disputes or declining standards. But when complaints increase while confidence in oversight declines, trust erodes quickly. Healthcare depends not only on scale but on trust. Trust that when something goes wrong, there will be fairness. Trust that the regulator is impartial. Trust again that no one can buy their way out of accountability. Then part 6 is all about the calls for reform. Now, the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists, a union, has called for the dissolution of the council's board. It wants an independent investigation, structural reforms, transparency in disciplinary proceedings. Doctors themselves now question whether the system is credible. Patients are asking even other questions. If the regulator is compromised, who regulates the regulator? The allegations raised in today's Daily Nation investigation strike and the heart of Kenya's healthcare system. And the council exists to protect patients, but if disciplinary outcomes can be allegedly influenced by money, if families must wait years for justice, and if complaints rise while accountability falters, then reform may no longer be optional. It may be urgent. And for now, the accusations remain allegations, but the questions they raise are profound. And until they are answered transparently, public trust hangs in the balance, and this is when the referee is compromised. Up next, JKS Thursdays. It's exactly 1 minute to 9 p.m. and this is JKS Thursdays. My name is Jeffrey Kimaiyu Somba or JKS, sorry. And this is the 26th day of February 2026. And you're in the good time, in the good place for watching our news, and you can follow our programs through our social media platforms, that is EBN TV, across. Our SMS line is 23059. Who's helping me in the sign language interpretation is Laura Omondi, and we are starting this bulletin this evening. And low voter turnout has marked the Isiolo South by-election, with some observers raising allegations of possible irregularities in the exercise. The mini poll has attracted attention as two siblings battle for the seat, and that was previously held by their late father, Mohamed Tubi, who passed away last year. Mohamed Tubi of the United Democratic Alliance UDA is facing off with his sister Binet Tubi of the Jubilee Party. A total of 22,161 registered voters are expected to elect their next member of county assembly. However, polling stations reported short queues, with many voters keeping away from the exercise. The Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission (IEBC) indicated that by 1 p.m. only about 30% of the registered voters had already turned out to cast their ballots.
Hiyo utakosa, utakubali? Hiyo ikiwa inaweza kosa sasa. Hiyo ikiwa hapa ni sure, tuko sure Isiolo South wako na imani, wako sure na wako sawa ndani ya chama ya UDA.
And in one incident here in Kina, we were able to identify bribery happening just behind the election room. And also we've also seen a group of politicians coming here and sitting down. We strongly believe that this is a violation of...
We don't have voters' bribery within the precincts of polling stations. Polling stations are 400-meter radius area. That's the definition of a polling station.
Kuna ile upole na unajua unyenyekevu wakati ya Ramadhan, huwa Waislamu wanakuwa naye. Hawataki kuonekana ya kwamba wanafanya siasa mingi ama vitu ya uhasama na nini. Lakini licha hiyo tunaona ya kwamba upigaji kura sasa kiwango inaendelea kupanda. Asubuhi ilikuwa chini kidogo, lakini saa hii inaendelea kupanda.
And on the same story, and still on the by-election, one person was arrested at Imia Kialo polling center in Kakamega on suspicion of disrupting polling activities. Police officers stationed at the center were forced to disperse a crowd that had begun forming as voters turned up to participate in the West Cabras ward by-elections. Some voters also raised concerns over the malfunctioning of the KM's kits, with several reporting difficulties during biometric identification. At the West Cabras ward seat has attracted 6 candidates with approximately 11,000 registered voters spread across 25 polling stations.
La kwanza ni kukondem kisa ambayo imefanyika hapa asubuhi, lakini pia tunashukuru polisi walikuwa karibu na wakatackle that issue, na kura inaendelea kupigwa saa hii salama. Sisi tunaomba tu watu wa West Cabras wapige kura kwa amani na wasitishwe na watu ambao wanazunguka ambao wana agenda ya mipini na nini.
Nilikuja hapa saa 12 asubuhi. Nimekaa hapa nikiwa na hamu sana ya kupiga kura. Kufika saa hii laini imekuwa ndefu. Nimekaa kwa laini mpaka hata nimechoka. Mashini yako ndani inafanya kazi polepole.
Mimi nilikamua nikaacha maziwa kwa nyumba, hata katuka nimefunga. Hata nilikuwa nataka watu waende kwa samba kupanda, nikawasimamisha. Naendelea tu, ingawaje ni mgonjwa, lakini wameniambia watani.
Kenya has officially launched the national rollout of the new HIV prevention drug, lenacapavir, targeting 15 counties in its first phase. And speaking during the launch event held at Riruta Hospital in Dagoretti North Sub-County, Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale described the move as a major boost to the country's HIV prevention strategies. The CS raised the concern of the rising number of new HIV infections among young people, calling for stronger collaboration among stakeholders to calm the spread of the epidemic. He emphasized the need for collective efforts from government agencies, health workers, and community organizations to protect vulnerable groups and reduce new infections.
That there have been misinformation circulating about this medicine. Let me assure the public and our citizens clearly and firmly, lenacapavir has been properly procured through established government systems with the support from the Global Fund. It has not been rushed. It has not been bypassed by any procedure. Every step has been followed in accordance with the law and our national health guidelines.
Advocate for is that everyone who is living with HIV must adhere to their treatment so that we get to what she called U is equal to U. That means that everyone has undetectable viral load so that they don't transmit. But for those still in darkness, lenacapavir has come. And that is the message that the ministry and the Kenyan government is giving.
And away from that story, tension flared during the Efurore ward by-election in Embu County on Thursday after the chief agent of top candidate Albert Kigoro was allegedly attacked at polling station. The incident occurred at Jaranga Primary School polling station, disrupting the electoral process and raising concerns over voter intimidation. Kelvin Mwendwa said he was monitoring the voting process when a group of assailants confronted him. In the ensuing melee, he claimed that a vehicle belonging to candidate Albert Kigoro, which he was using, was vandalized. And speaking after the incident, Mwendwa termed the attack an act of intimidation aimed at frustrating his legally mandated oversight role and scaring voters away from the polling station. He maintained that this presence was solely to ensure a transparent and credible process as provided for under electoral law.
Hapa unaona kichwa huku naumia na kimbisho hospitali sahi, at least nimepiga ripoti kwa polisi. Na pia nauliza maafisa wetu wa polisi kila mahali, na ikiwezekana waongezeke hapa. Tunataka kutuma hiyo ujumbe huko juu. IG Inspector General, tunataka ulinzi, tunataka safety. Hatusikii kama tuko safe hapa Ivurori. Kwa hivyo mimi ningeuliza tu watu wa Ivurori watokee kwa wingi na wapige kura. Mwenye atashinda ndiye kiongozi wetu.
And now, David Maraga, the formative Justice United Green Movement UGM presidential aspirant, has pledged to completely eradicate corruption if elected. President Maraga vowed that no one, including his allies, friends, or party members, would be spared if found guilty of bribe-speaking in Kangundo during the launch of a new UGM office. He condemned the rampant misuse of public funds. He also cited shortages of medicine in hospitals, mismanagement of education funds, and alleged disappearance of 11 billion meant for the Talanda Stadium project. Maraga accused senior government officials of treating public offices like personal ATMs, insisting that accountability must be enforced at all levels of leadership. UGM leaders also urged Kenyans to register as voters in large numbers, describing the ballot as the most powerful tool for change as they seek to unseat William Ruto in the next general elections.
Marafiki zangu sitakubali waibe mali ya umma. Umeona hawa vijana? Nimewaelezea ya kwamba wachaguliwa wakuje wafuate sheria. Kama yeyote akijihusisha na mambo ya wizi wa mali ya serikali, mimi naweka ndani, hata nyinyi naweka ndani. Hakuna ya maendeleo. Tukimaliza hiyo, Kenya itapona. Niambia ya kwamba Wakenya wanaweza kukasirika kabisa, lakini tukikasirika bila kura itakuwa ni kazi bure, au sivyo?
And President William Ruto has urged young people across the country to reject ethnic divisions and instead embrace patriotism as Kenya works towards national transformation. Speaking during the graduation ceremony of 3,862 prison officers and the Prison Staff Training College in Ruiru, the president called on Kenyans to support the government's development agenda aimed at uplifting the country to greater heights. The head of state also highlighted measures taken to improve the welfare of prison officers, including the construction of 5,000 housing units. He further announced plans to build an additional 28,000 institutional housing units for prison officers nationwide.
Hayo ya kubadilisha taifa letu la Kenya. Tumesema ya kwamba tunataka kujenga barabara zaidi, tunataka kujenga airport na kujenga reli, tunataka kujenga mabwawa ya maji ndio tuondoe mambo ya njaa katika taifa letu la Kenya, tufanye irrigation. Tumesema pia tuzalishe umeme ambayo itatusaidia kwa mambo ya industrialization. Wakijaribu kusema nyinyi ni Wakalenjin, muambie sisi ni Wakenya. Wakisema nyinyi ni Wakikuyu, waambie hapana, sisi ni Wakenya. Wakisema nyinyi ni Wakisii, waambie hapana, sisi ni Wakenya. Kwa sababu unity in diversity is what will.
And Nairobi Governor Sakaja Johnson has defended the cooperation agreement with the national government, saying the agreement is neither unusual nor illegal, but rather a long overdue framework grounded in law and aligned with global best practice. Sakaja argued that Nairobi's current allocation is insufficient to watch the demands of a fast-growing capital, and that the injection of 80 billion by the national government will enhance service delivery.
Constitution that elevates the people above all of these things that you're saying. Governor, I've seen you doing public participation before you embarked on projects. When we had this conversation in the when Karungo Wathango was the chair of housing, and you wanted to do Woodley, for instance, we were engaging members of public from Woodley before you ever did the groundbreaking. And then once that was complete, we proceed with the project. Surely, Governor, you know that what you're saying is not true.
Chair, please allow me to answer questions asked. Yeah? We will hear what the views are. Already, I've had things that need to be amended. Already, from the public, I have had. But both levels of government then will review what has come from the people. We'll have to review it. But there must be an agreement. Guys, the capital will not change without this provision. Unless you tell me another provision of adding 80 billion or 100 billion to the city, there is, please, provide. If it's conditional grants, do it. You're the Senate. Give it to us. Yeah? Let me hear during the budget policy statement that you've increased Nairobi's allocation by 80. I will tear this agreement. I will not need it. But for now, I must, as the governor, as a responsible governor, who cares for his people, I must find whichever way that will get me resources to sort of this city. I must get it. Lazima iwak.
And the ODM caucus of county chairpersons has endorsed the suspension of Edwin Sifuna as the party secretary general. The caucus, which met under the chairmanship of Kakamega Governor Fernandez Baraza, declared its support for Oburu Oginga as the party leader and urged him to stabilize and steady the party as it prepares for the 2027 general elections. The group was also addressed by Oburu, who called for unity within the party.
Kwanza kabisa kumpatia mamlaka kinara wetu wa chama Daktari Oburu Oginga kuanza mazungumuzo na vyama ili tuunde serikali mwaka 2027. Na chama cha kwanza ambacho tumepatia mamlaka Daktari Oburu kuongea nacho ni chama cha UDA. Tena leo katika mkutano wetu tunaunga mkono uamuzi wa chama kuondoa rasmi aliyekuwa katibu mkuu Edwin Sifuna.
Hakuna uchaguzi unafanywa katika NDC wa 2027. Najua wengi wanasema uchaguzi itakuwa watatendo NDC itwe. Sasa NDC imeitwa, mambo ya uchaguzi tulimaliza Mombasa. na delegates wote walikuwa Mombasa kwa NEC. Baadaye kulikuwa na mkutano wa Central Committee ambaye pia ulifanywa eneo la Pwani na yale yalipitishwa.
The Parliamentary Committee on Education has questioned Julius Bitok, the Cabinet Secretary for Education, over the controversy at Lower Girls School in Rarieda, Siaya County, following a religious dispute concerning a student who claimed she was banned from wearing a hijab at school. According to the information presented to the committee, the ministry has launched a thorough investigation to establish what exactly happened and whether the school rules violated the students' rights. C.S. Bitok assured the committee that the government will not tolerate any form of discrimination in education institutions and confirmed that guidelines will be issued to prevent similar incidents in the future.
Article 27 on the Bill of Rights is very clear. No person, not even a child, should be discriminated because of their religion. Yes, because of their religion or otherwise.
Yes, okay. Honorable Chair, the law is very clear, as a senior council, honorable member, senior councillor said. It is very clear. There should be no discrimination whatsoever on matters of religion, on matters of any faith, and it is very clear. That's why I requested Honorable Chair that to give us more time, because the story we are getting from the Sub-County Director of Education in the preliminary report and what we are getting from the school seem to be requiring further investigation to understand really what happened with this on this particular issue.
So PS, is the girl in school or not? So is the girl in school or not? We are being senior council. 1 minute. So is the girl in school or not?
As we speak now, the girl was removed from the school.
Why? That's the question. Why? So you are going to seek more time and the girl is staying at home. That's not fair.
The girl must go back to school.
Who is tying your hands to make a decision? Why don't you pronounce yourself?
The PS should tell the girl should go back to school as you wait for response.
You're correct.
She cannot be at home.
Yes.
That kid must go.
You need to defend the constitution. The girl is supposed to be allowed to go to that school.
Yes,
Chair. Honorable Chair. Yeah. I will ensure that the girl gets back to school as soon as possible.
Now, immediately. Yes.
And moving onward, representatives in Nakuru County have strongly criticized the county governor, Susan Kihika, for opposing a political visit organized by Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua in the county. Speaking in Naivasha, the ward representatives urged residents to turn out in large numbers and warmly welcome Gachagua along with other opposition leaders during the 2-day visit scheduled for Friday and Saturday. The representatives emphasized that Nakuru County is open and ready for any politician to carry out their political activities. This comes after recent days in which Governor Kihika has been critical over Gachagua, labeling him an ethnic leader and warning against holding political activities in the county.
Ambia governor ya kwamba hii Nakuru wewe ulichaguliwa na watu ambao ni wa Nakuru ambao wanakuja kutembelewa na Gachagua. Kwa hivyo tunasema ya kwamba kila mtu ana uhuru wa kutegemana. Na pia governor ajue yeye ni wakili, ingawaje hajawahi shida kesi yoyote Kenya. Unaona, tunamwambia ya kwamba asome katiba na afafanuliwe na mtu ambaye anaielewa ya kwamba kila mtu ana uhuru wa kuongea na kutembea.
Gachagua is the idea whose time has come. Kenyans ni wamekosa kusema kuwa mambo ambayo tumeyapitia kutoka tuweke hii serikali imekuwa mambo magumu sana, na hata Wakenya hawahitaji kuambiwa ati wakati ni sasa wa kuondoa maisha ambayo ni ngumu zaidi. Angalia angalia maneno yote ya kuhusu uchumi. Wakenya wameteseka vya kutosha. Wale ambao wanaingia Nakuru ni cosmopolitan, ni ya kila mmoja, na ndio maana tunakaribisha Gachagua.
Ningeweza kuomba vijana wetu na watu ambao wanahusika vibaya ama wanatumika vibaya na wanasiasa ambao wanawatumia vibaya raundi hii na kuanzia sasa, ile jukumu tuko nalo kubwa ni kuwahimiza ya kwamba msijaribu kutokea kufuruga amani na mikutano ya wengine, kwa sababu ni haki ya mtu.
The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers Kupet Kajiado branch has organized elections aimed at filling 14 positions within the branch, including the post of Secretary General. The elections held in Kajiado town began with some delays but proceeded smoothly without any reported challenges. For the first time, the union actively involved in secondary school teachers who are among the 2,500 registered voters participating in the election. The voters expressed satisfaction with how the process was conducted, noting that security and organizational measures were well enforced to ensure a smooth and credible exercise.
Personally, I told my members right from early last year that I was not going to defend my seat because they have honored me for over 25 years. And this is my day. The elections are taking place. When they announce the new officials, we shall be having a new person in my position of Executive Secretary. What I want to say, I want to thank the arrangements that we are having today. Right from security, we asked for 100 police officers and they are here. We asked for a lot of order. Everything is going on.
I say in Kajiado there is a lot of peace. We have enough security. Some of those branches which had chaos were the first ones, and we learned a lot from them. And we've improved the system so well that we've never had chaos anywhere else. So that's why, for example, we have 2 streams, because one thing which was causing a lot of issues is people delaying so much on queues. But now when we have 2, 3 or even 4 streams, we're able to clear the crowds very fast and the voting is.
The Makueni County government, in collaboration with the Public Health Insurance Scheme (SHA), is set to provide free medical services to 11,000 residents under a program valued at 90 million. The beneficiaries of the program are individuals with low socioeconomic status will receive special cards issued by SHA. The insurance will be integrated with SHA coverage, enabling beneficiaries to access all medical services both at Makueni County hospitals and at accredited facilities outside the county.
Because we are dependent on the proxy means testing, the budgets that we have, we expect to cover about 11,000 households out of the 250 households. But we are put within our budgets going forward in the next financial year to have that number to 18,000 households. And see how we continue to grow that number progressively.
The residents of Makueni have not been subjected to means testing, and that is the exercise we are currently doing. So instead of us waiting until we carry out a means testing for everybody, we allocated a budget that we can begin with, and that is the 90 million that we have started. So in the process, the exercise that is currently ongoing that has started today will be able to carry out that program of ensuring everybody has been checked so that we are able to know how many dependents we have in Makueni. So in the subsequent budget, and I know this will go to the people of Makueni, they will be able to know how many people are eligible for that program.
The Ministry of Information, Communication and Digital Economy has initiated a process to identify key partners to develop strategies for strengthening the country's technology infrastructure. Speaking about the program, the Ministry Secretary John Tanui said the collaboration aims to empower young people who are a capital pillar in driving the technology sector by utilizing modern systems to stimulate economic growth.
I want to see students also attending connected. Can we adopt students and actually make it part of our contribution in the whole run? And even as we come up with the topics and speakers, can we ensure that we've included at least 3 students in each of those panels to be able to give us a viewpoint? Because as an industry, we're talking about, we want students that when they leave university, they become plug and play.
This year, our focus is about an inclusive digital market for the African continent. We will be having conversations on policy, regulation, and legislation that can help the continent really create a digital market.
That story brings JK's dances to a stop. But before we go, I want to thank you for watching our programs through the start of this day until this time. We want to declare that you are great viewers and we appreciate you so much. And to the team behind making this a success, we thank you so much and may God bless you. And to my sign language interpreter, may God increase you and make you more to make people understand what we are doing here. My name is Jeffrey Kimaiyu Somba from this team. We wish you a good night. May God bless you.